Hi, I'm Brendan Mills and welcome to episode 6.1 of Finance Coach TV. Now, the reason behind today's episode being 6.1 and the casualness of my attire is today's an impromptu episode. I'm shooting this on a Saturday evening. It's getting slightly dark outside. But what I wanted to talk about, I'm based in Western Australia, and unfortunately during this week, the Forge Group, which is an engineering company, went under. So 1,600 people have lost their jobs and instantaneously. Happened really quickly. Nobody knew any word about it. People are stuck on mine sites, unfortunately, and need to find their own way home in remote locations. So I did a little bit of digging into, what appears to be the initial reasons as to why it happened and what we can learn from it. So I've got a few notes here that I'm going to refer to, but I think it makes for really, it's awful that 1,600 people lost their jobs and, there are 1,600 families that no longer have a wage coming in, and there's obviously the terrible side of that, but there's also lessons that we can learn in our businesses that we can apply day to day. But this is not a struggling company, or it wasn't a struggling company. This happened very quickly. So the analogy that I use when I think of this is they were flying a commercial jet airline, which the plane was in perfect condition, the pilots were in control, and they were flying in the middle of the day with blue skies, but still managed to crash the plane. So the question is, how do you crash the plane in that circumstance? Well, let me give you some information. And before I give you that information, a really interesting quote that I read online today. And this is from one of the people involved in the administration or receivership of the company. It's still unclear how it moved, so it being Forge, moved from a profitable company to the mess it became. And let's have a look at what's happened. So in 2009, they did $169 million worth of revenue. In 2013 financial year, so this is June 2013 year finished. So this is 7 months ago, just gone 7 months. So not a very long period of time at all. They did $1 billion worth of revenue. In 2009, they did $16.5 million of profit before tax. And this financial year just gone, they did $90 million worth of profit before tax. So this is a company that's been going like this for a long period of time. It hasn't been going like this, it's been constant growth. So you'd think a very safe, very successful company, which it was. At the 30th of June, they had $90 million in cash. They had $15 million in debt, and their equity was $213 million. So they had significant entitlement over the assets of their business. So how does this happen so quickly? And it appears as though the ANZ, so one of the big banks in Australia, one of the big four, is owed around $200 million. So that happened very quickly, and apparently they're only going to get about 25% of their money back if they're lucky. And, this company at the 30th of June 2013 was in really strong financial health. You couldn't argue that. And what are the lessons that we can learn from this tragedy for the people involved in terms of, not so much the management, because I'm sure they'll be handsomely rewarded even despite the company's failures, but the people that lost their jobs. So what can we learn for our business? And from what I read, there was no shortage of work out there. They had approximately $1 billion worth of work in the pipeline, which is very healthy. It was the profitability of the jobs that wasn't there. So the company, like I said, has been going like this for a long period of time. And then all of a sudden, within 7 months, it's gone to nothing, dead, worthless, people out of jobs, and a non-existent company anymore. So the importance for us is you've got to keep your eye on your financials at all times. It can happen so quickly. So you've got to keep your eye on those. But also the profitability of the jobs. So early indications are, it wasn't through lack of having work that was coming up, it was actually the profitability on some large jobs they entered into. So in your business, you need to know what your costs of production are so that you can price effectively and apply that in your business so that you can remain profitable. It sounds like they had a few large projects which absolutely killed them. So they would have been poorly priced, they would have been costed incorrectly, and you can't afford to do that in your business. So the takeaway action from this unfortunate thing for us in our businesses is keep an eye on your financials constantly. You need to understand, you need your accounts team to have that information on an ongoing basis and accurate. And second, Yeah, and just as importantly, you need to understand how your business is making money in terms of the jobs that it does, or the products that it sells or services it provides. You need to understand what the cost of those outcomes are and what you're pricing for them, because you need to obviously make sure that your price is more than enough to cover your costs of production. Hope you enjoyed this impromptu episode of Finance Coach TV 6.1. It's a Saturday evening, so I'm starting to spit my words a little bit, but I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.